Take a look at this black box right over here. This is how much time you got left once you do land here in China to find your very first apartment. Oh, what? That was wrong. This is the correct time. Welcome back to Solo Quest. Today we're going to talk about how the apartment system works, where to find this apartment, and to find the perfect type of apartment for you. And at the very end, we're going to talk about what are some of the red flags you should watch out for. So usually they say you have 2 to 3 weeks to find your very first apartment, but realistically speaking, you have around like 1.5 weeks in order to find your apartment. But first, these are things that you should expect before getting your first apartment, and that is 2 months deposit fee and the first month payment rent, along with the management fee and the agent fee. And now on to our very most important subject, and that is the different type of apartment you'd encounter. First one would be the regular apartment. This is your typical flat. Everything's divided. You have the kitchen, living room, bedroom with a couple of windows here and there. But there is a downside to this, that is price. Now, this type of apartment can be a bit more pricier, especially if you live in the business district. If you don't really have the budget, this is the perfect fit for you. And that is the studio bedroom type A. Bedroom, the kitchen, the living room are all combined to one space with no specific divided area. And they are usually near subway stations as well, because they are quite compact and easy to construct along this area. But of course, it does come with a downside, and that is no specific order in between. And for the next one is a studio apartment B. Basically, it's the same thing as apartment studio type A, but the only difference that there is no window in this type of apartment. Now, of course, there is a pro to this apartment, and that is the convenience that it holds and also the price. The price is like around 3,100 in Futian. It's a catch, especially that it's near the business center. But there is also a big downside to this as well, and that is if the electricity goes off and it's just pitch dark, you can't really see anything at all. If you're a type of person that can't handle small spaces just like me, I would recommend that you live in the Longgang and Longhua area. These are the hub for the loft type apartment. Basically, there's just like a really tall apartment that is divided in two. Now, there's a downside to this, and that is the bedroom. In the bedroom, it's just gonna be like around 6.5 feet tall. So you kind of have to bend down a bit just to go to sleep. But it does come with the upside, and that is the storage room. You have a lot of storage in that area, and you have a tall first floor for you to relax in. And for our very last apartment type would be the handshake apartment. Basically, this is most common in the Pingzhou area, where it's just always busy with a lot of people, and they're just trying to stuff as many people as they can into one section. So basically, this type of apartment would be ass to each other. So if you just open the window, you can see your neighbor. And this is why it's called the handshake apartment, because you can just shake hand from window to window. So you can actually haggle with the owner itself and get it even low as like 2,100. My local Chinese friend got his apartment for around like 1,600 per month. Insanely cheap. And the lowest that I've ever seen was 900 renminbi per month. And now, how to find and where to find these apartments. I would say the easiest way is just go with your company's agent. Basically, they're already used to dealing with foreigners and they know how to speak English, but it does come with a con, and that is most of the time they would give you a higher rate comparison to the normal market rate. I would say a lot of expats do fall for this, and they don't really get the best deal out of their apartments. And the second one is what you want to do is ask your coworker for a local apartment agent. Typically, they don't really know how to speak English, and it'll be a bit difficult, but they will give you the local market price for these apartments and give you more options when it comes to a certain district. And next, my favorite method, using the app. The main reason why I love using the app is just because the convenience that it holds. The best app that I used so far was the Welsi app and the Beike Jiaofang app. Their big advantage is that you're able to virtually walk inside the apartment and to see how it's like and get full-on insight about the apartment straight to the owner itself. So it's amazing. For our last section is the walk-in method. I would say this is the best method just because you're able to kind of scout out the area and to see where is the closest one from your workplace and to where you live. All you got to do is open up the map app and check out the area and to see if there are apartments nearby. I would say this would cut off at least like 10 to 20 minutes of commute time from your workplace to the apartment. A lot of the time people would often live in some apartment, and that is a bit further away by using the subway station. But if you can get yourself an e-bike just like this one right over here and get an apartment closer to your workplace, it will be the best deal for you. Next, let's talk about the realistic timeline that you're probably going to experience on your very first apartment hunt. I would say on your first 3 days, that's just going to be a recovery day. You just arrived in China, got into your hotel, and also do a lot of paperwork along with shots, interviews, etc. So basically, on your 4th and 5th day, you're gonna probably know and be locked into where you're gonna be probably working in. And what you wanna do is ask all your local coworker for the local apartments agent. And they're gonna give you some contacts here and there. And this is where you're gonna start your main search. And what you wanna do is just go to your search function in the WeChat and then type in the district that you wanna be living in. And if you do add a lot of apartment agent, it's gonna be a whole listing of different type of apartment. And you kind of gotta scroll down and find the one you click like and type in, is this available or some sort like that. If it is available, reserve it immediately and try to get it the next day. On your very 6th day, all the way to the very end, this is where you go hunt for your apartments. If you choose the apartment agent route, all you got to do is reserve these apartment and kind of check it out. If you choose to walk in, just walk into every apartment around the area and check it out as well. Next, let's talk about the red flags. Let's just say, for example, you followed my method and you found the perfect apartment for you and you're going to go check it out either through walk-in or either apartment agents. What you want to do is when you enter the apartment, close all the doors and window and ask the apartment agent or either the owner to stop talking for around 10 seconds. Because the thing is with Shenzhen or either any China city, it's gonna be pretty loud. You're gonna hear a lot of honking from like cars, e-bike, etc., just like that. And you don't wanna hear any of that. And if you think that is the perfect noise level for you, and that is the first checklist. But if you do live in the 8th floor or above, I wouldn't say you really have to worry too much about it because you're gonna be a bit further from the ground level. Let's just say the noise level is pretty good. What you wanna do is ask the apartment agent to turn on the gas, electricity, and also water, make sure everything's working. Because if something is broken, it is up to you to fix it, or either you kind of have to argue a bit with the apartment owner for them to fix some things up here and there once you do lock in for that apartment. And once you do flush down the toilet and turn on the stove, etc. like that, if you have a gas stove, what you want to do is go to the bed and sofa. Usually, all you got to do is kick the sofa one time or the bed and check out the corners of the sofa and bed. Typically, there will be bed bugs in the corner of this and the horizontal area. Let's just say this is like the footing and this is the sofa. You want to check this side right over here. Typically, a lot of bed bugs and cockroach love these kind of section because it's a good place for them to hide. And if you want to check for roaches, check out the head section of the bed because the thing is, this is the warmest spot for a lot of cockroaches. Another one is behind the refrigerator. If you do find small cockroaches, then that means it is infested. You might want to ask the apartment owner to kind of bomb the place out first before renting it out to you, or either do a deep cleaning yourself and just buy a insect bomb. Let's just say everything checks out. The apartment is just perfect. It's the dream apartment. Next thing you got to do is check out the outside factor. Now, another part is check if there's any local square around the area or local park. And whether if the apartment itself have a park and have a rule when it comes to noises. And now there is a big local culture of dancing here. Basically, a lot of older women, the dancing IEs, they would dance in the square, make with their big boombox and just kind of blast it out from 5 to 6, sometimes early in the morning, 6 to 7. And at first, it was endearing and cute, I think. It was like, wow, in America, all the old people would just sit down, watch TV, and eat potato chip and die of diabetes. And here, people are dancing and exercising. It's great. But after living here, out here for like 5 years plus, if you do have a dancing eye outside your apartment, it could be quite frustrating. So do double check outside because not only that, you do have children playing. Of course, children make noises. For the last one is to check out if there is any construction noises. If you see any construction along the 1 kilometer radius of where you live in, do expect a lot of banging, drilling noises around the area, and do expect it to last around 6 to 8 months or maybe even more, depending on what kind of construction it is. But yeah, this is how apartment systems work in China, and I hope you do find this useful. If you do know anyone that's moving to China, send this to them. Hopefully they can learn a bit or two about the apartments out here, and that way they don't get scammed by a lot of apartment agents. And if you do have to choose what type of apartment that you would probably live in, would you choose a loft one, studio bedroom, or either a regular apartment? Comment down below. I would love to know. Now, again, if you do have any question, comment down below. I would love to help you out and make your life here a lot more better. Information is key to everything. That's about it. So Quest logging out. Peace.